Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. Rockstar X. I got a chance to meet up with Joel Felsenstein recently when he came with him and Max came to Mac, not Max. Mac came to town from the UK. What a fantastic human being. Joel Felsenstein is the guy that created that video for us. Joel is autistic, has an incredible story that you need to hear, and he's the founder of Rockstar X, doing incredible work for his community and bringing awareness and going past awareness to action. So, a big, huge fan of what they do. But let's talk about our sponsors tonight, the Sustain Network. Tucker Bascon. I can't tell you how much it's been an inspiration. He uses these micro classes to send it to me through text messages, which I'm able to give to our students and allow them to learn more management skills in bite-sized pieces. And it's just incredible. He's doing an incredible job and is really been a supporter of our work with Transformation Kitchen. And he is a sponsor not only for the show, but for our upcoming event in March, which I will be flashing in the bottom of the screen when we have a chance. And I am so excited about him and the work that he's doing. So excited to have him be one of our sponsors. Bavona's chef Chuck Bavona is doing the most delicious pastas you can ever find. Simply Pasta right on Liberty Street in Newburgh, New York. If you are here traveling through, going to New York City, going to upstate, whatever, stop by. You will not regret it. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Chuck, and your crew. What an awesome, awesome place. I love it. Entry Careers. Jennifer and Lindsay are doing such fabulous work. They are career engineers, blending the best of humanity with AI and HR technology to help companies care for their people and to help leaders transition to the jobs of their dreams. So thank you, Entry Careers, and Jennifer and Lindsay Dowd for being part of what we are doing with the show. And for March 29th, I cannot wait to see you guys get my bear hugs on. Last but not least, Calipuffs, my friends. That's right, Calipuffs. This brand is absolutely fantastic. This is lower calories, lower carbs, and loaded with good stuff that you want to put in your body. They have tons of great flavors. They are one of our sponsors as well and gave us a whole bunch of great goodies to put in our gift baskets for our March 29th event. If you don't know what that is, we are cooking up change. And that is that we are partnering with Rayo de Sol, Peter Shaler and his group that are in Matagalpa, Nicaragua. We are building our first international transformation kitchen with these guys. They've got the space, we've got the technical skills, and we're coming in to help out. And I will be spending 2 to 3 weeks. Probably he'll kick me out. My wife is concerned I won't come back. He's probably concerned that I won't ever leave. And I am so excited. I'm gonna be there in June for several weeks, helping them build out this program and do the great things to help a really poverty ridden area learn skills that they can create their own jobs. So very excited about that and excited to be part of that happening later on. But March 29th, the Cooking Up Change, Chris Shimbra and a whole bunch of people are going to join us. Claudia Maralunda is going to be doing her art. We've got baskets that we're raffling off. Chris Shimbra is the Wall Street Journal bestselling author of Gratitude Through Hard Times and Gratitude and Pasta. He is the creator of the 747 Gratitude Experience. That's the guy that went and had all of these meals started at his house and then he went other places. Unbelievable. And it's just blossomed into this huge thing. Poor guy has lost his voice. He was donating a keynote speech to us and he lost his voice. It's something like 15 or 16 days he's gone without having his voice. But he's such a cool dude. He's going to let us show his keynote and he's still coming to the event. That's what kind of guy he is. So please follow Chris Shimbra. We'll have that in the notes as well. But before I keep on babbling anymore, if I can learn and see what buttons I need to press here, come on. I got to press some more buttons. Get these beautiful ladies up here. Dun, da, da. Kristin
Hello.
Norai and Christine Lynn Jones in the house. Let's see if I can make this happen. Yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me press the buttons. I appreciate you. And I've got to post it up here. If you've got questions for them, please put it in the chat and I will try to star it and see if we can come back to it. We already see some people in the chat, so I really appreciate that. Hey, Nick. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Jody. Appreciate you. This is fantastic. Great to see you guys. First, let's start with Kristin. Tell us a little about your background.
Sure. So my name is Kristin Norai, as you mentioned, and I'm in my 26th year in education. I started my career as a special education teacher and moved into general education for several years before shifting back over to special education. I've kind of done a little bit of everything. I've taught pre-K through 12th grade, and I'm now working as a national professional development specialist and teacher coach all over the country.
Awesome. That's so awesome. You guys are both incredible. Christine, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so I have been teaching now. This is my 33rd year of teaching, and I'm getting ready to retire in June. So it's going to be bittersweet. I loved every single second of teaching and seeing my children flourish. And I've actually taught second generation of children, so it's definitely been a blessing. I'm looking forward to my next chapter working with Kristin and working on our parenting classes and reaching more parents to help them help their children flourish, just like I've seen my children flourish in the classroom. So I look forward to the future and what that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So let's jump in. That's a great segue. So let's jump right on into talking about what the two of you are creating, and so everyone knows in the audience whether you're seeing it now, you're seeing it later on in the replay, or you're catching us on one of our other platforms because this is on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, and it's on YouTube. Right above Kristin's left shoulder, you'll see a QR code. That QR code goes to her book, well, the book that the two of them wrote. And we're going to jump in and talk about that a little bit later on. Scan that QR code. Go ahead and let's jump in and let's talk about what the two of you are doing and how the audience can get involved.
Sure. Christine, do you want to start with our story of how we met?
Sure, we can start with that. So, how we met was from a mutual connection on LinkedIn. She said, I met with her. She said, there's somebody that you need to meet. And also, Kristin met with her and she said, there's somebody that you need to meet. So, we did what other people do on LinkedIn. We did some stalking of each other's posts, and we were seeing like how, if that was somebody that we wanted to connect with, what kind of things do they post about? And what we realized was that our views on education aligned. Not only did they align so well that we actually could have written the same post or the same response. So we were very aligned with that. So we had our very first meeting or coffee chat. And Kristin, would you like to go from there? What happened?
Absolutely. We, of course, got on the call and immediately hit it off. And by the end of the conversation, we had decided we were writing a book together. Having never met in person, we started working on this book December of 2023, I believe
Yes.
it was.
Yes.
And we started meeting every weekend on Saturday and Sunday mornings for several hours. And we put together a workbook that we created for parents to help guide them with helping their children in the home with academics, but also social, emotional, and behavioral concerns, but then also how to advocate at the school level and teaching parents how to go about making sure they can get the right supports in place for their children. And when we finished the workbook, we then from there realized that we had actually created a class. Wow. Kristin, if you want to expand on that, I'll let you jump in there.
So we realized that we created a class. Not only, so we did the book, and then we created, this last year, we created 21 classes.
21.
And so we have spent the weekends. So I work full time, and both of us are active on LinkedIn. And then we were using our weekends to flesh out all of our courses. So we have taught now 21 classes. So, and we're excited because I remember a conversation that we had, and we were approached to say, "Hey, could you write a class?" And Kristin and I looked at each other. We're like, I don't know if we can even do like a class. And then within 6 months after that, we hammered out 21 classes with slides and with notes and everything to go along with it. Not only that, we also have a website now, and we have also people on the website have endorsed us, and the classes that we have that they participated in have been highly favorable, and they've said that they've helped a lot. Even ones that were saying, I don't know how this was going to help me at first, they said that it actually helped them have deeper connections with their child, and to help their family dynamics. So those things are what we want to be able to carry forward and reach more families and help more people.
Well, that's fantastic. And let's go back to this. We haven't said that, but it's called Bridging the Gap Between Home and School. I love the title, and I love the book reminds me of those, was it Cliff Note? It was those study guide books that you used to see, and you would put your name on the front or whatever. I looked at that. I was like, this is a perfect teacher book. Like, this is an incredible book, but we kind of almost have to talk about both at the same time. But so you created this book, and then out of this book came 21 classes. What the intent of the book was, you wanted to bridge that gap, obviously. And you guys both as educators, I'm sure, were seeing the gap like live and in person. Here it is. So let's talk a little bit about what people will see when they purchase the book.
So it's broken down. We created, first of all, Kristin and I did a lot of research before writing this book on ways that we could have an immediate impact on education in a positive way. And parent engagement was what we kept finding through all of our different researching venues. And the more that we looked at it and saw, the more we felt like going after helping support parents would be the best bang for our buck in terms of having as much global reach as we could for education. I think we both came together out of frustration of seeing what's currently happening in the schools and feeling the frustrations that we were kind of both of us spinning our own wheels, feeling like we weren't making enough of a difference. because there was always something new. It's always, in my situation, I felt like I was, as a behavior specialist, I was constantly triaging problems, but never really saw, the light at the end of the tunnel. This has given us, I think, some legway to really helping change the way parents view school. Helping parents. Go ahead, Christine.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were done. You can go ahead and finish it.
I was just going to say, in helping parents find the avenue that best fits their kid and their child's needs, to get them the supports that they need at home and at school.
We also, after the research that we did, we realized that this was an area that we needed to work on. It was an area that we had actually researched a little bit further, and we were trying to find a Venn diagram of the home between home and school and who's responsible for what, because there's a lot of gray area. Parents point their fingers at the teachers point their fingers at the parents, and everybody's like, well, whose responsibility is it? What do we do? So Kristin and I fleshed out the Venn diagram, and we have cells, and it's very specific underneath each cell of what falls under that and what falls underneath the parents' responsibilities, what falls underneath the teachers, and what are shared responsibilities. What we discovered after our research was that there was more shared responsibilities than one or the other. So because of that, it's crucial that we bridge that gap between home and school, and we work together as a partnership to help benefit our students and have them thrive and being able to succeed in the community and globally, because that's what we're going to need as global citizens now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think is the biggest challenge with getting parents and teachers together to bridge that gap? Well, we'll start with you, Kristin.
Okay. So I think that the biggest challenge is going to be to see that there is overlapping and the benefits of working together with their parents, because there's a lot less conflict, there's less teacher burnout, and the parents are happier and they have more positive things to say about the school and about their community. And if children hear more positive things about their education, because children can hear, that's going to impact them positively, and they're going to like school more when they hear their parents are talking about school in a positive way or things that they are doing to help their child. I have, for instance, I have a parent that we've done a home to school connection with, and she really got into it. And she's been taking pictures of what they do at home. And then the other child would come in, the other sibling would come in and tell me the things that they were working on. Did she tell you what we were working on, and that kind of thing. And then I would get online and then see all of those fun things that they're doing. So it creates excitement and passion. And that creates lifelong learners.
Yeah. Well, that's what you want. You want them to get the teachers that I remember the most. And I had a crazy childhood, so I'm not a perfect example. But the teachers that I do remember were the teachers that cared enough about me to really invest the time and energy to learn about me and my situation, and to give me the tools that were good for me, not just a blanketed, I need you to do X, Y, Z, but really, hey, Chasen, you know what? I see you being like this. I see that you're neurodiverse. I see that you have trouble paying attention and whatnot. So this is something that I think you will really like. And yeah, very cool. Very cool. Kristin, same question. I mean, what are the gaps that you see that need to be filled, and some of the challenges between filling those gaps?
I definitely would agree with what Christine said. I think the biggest challenge we have is getting the buy-in that the work is important up front. A lot of times parents will hear a suggestion that we have on something and they'll say, oh, that's a lot of work. My response is always, well, you can put the work in at the beginning or at the end. If you don't put the work in to teach the behavior, then you're going to deal with the consequences of that unlearned behavior forever versus having something, solution wise developed. So getting that buy-in and getting parents to realize that it's not a matter of working harder, just working smarter and being more of a team player, taking that it takes a village approach of, everybody needs to remove that it's not my job role and remember that we're all in it together to help these kids move forward.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't even understand well, first of all, I just want to say kudos to you both because I obviously was not built to be a teacher because I would have just been like, are you kidding me? Like you're saying to me that you don't want to do the work to help your own child? I'm like, my head's like,
Right.
but yeah, so bless you for being the kind of teachers that are like, look, I get it, it's a lot of work, but you need to do it, and here's why. That's fantastic. Let's, in the classes, because you said there's 20, we're going to kind of shift your back. We're going to keep going back and forth probably. Scan that QR code and get a copy of your book today, especially if you have kids. This is perfect. You've got someone that is a friend of yours, family member that you know that this will help out. Grab that book. So, talk about the 21 classes. Holy mackerel. You're like, I'm not sure if we can do that. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, there's 21.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So, Kristin, staying with you.
Sure. So,
break it down.
Absolutely. Our biggest class that we've created is a 6-week course that is called The Fundamentals of Parenting. And it follows the book and the different cells that are set up in the book to help kind of reach all of the different components that we want to touch on. And then from there, we actually have a portion in the book that's kind of what to do when it's not working. So we created a second class that's just a 3-session class to come together and help parents specifically that are having behavioral difficulties in the home and improving those behaviors that their children are having difficulty with. And then from there, we decided, we're helping all these parents with what things they need to do for kids, but what about for themselves? So that led us into quite a few classes that we created on self-care for adults and parents in particular. And then we did a couple seasonal programs that we've put together. We've done some on advocacy work and building strong relationships. And it's kind of just gone from there.
That's incredible.
And I don't think we're done yet either because we kind
No.
of done adding, but we're done adding. So now we're ready to really take the reins and go ahead and start working with other individuals over the ones that we've already developed. So we're very excited for those opportunities.
I can only imagine. And I mean, based on both of your backgrounds and the expertise that you guys bring together, it's just incredible the amount of wisdom and sage advice that's going to be packed into these classes and into this book. So yeah, the kudos to you both. I will start with you, Kristin. I'm just curious, because there's 21 different classes, are you starting are they starting from one perspective to another? Like, is there a series where they kind of flow together? Like, you should do this one, then, like, here's a starting point? Or are they kind of a la carte? Like, you can do them all individually?
Yes. My answer is yes.
Both of those questions.
You could absolutely do them sequentially, or you could do a la carte one-offs of some of the ones that we have. And we did that intentionally so that parents didn't feel like they had to buy the whole program. This was a way to kind of break it into manageable chunks.
Awesome. And Kristin, in that session, in those groups, Is there a series that's your favorite?
Honestly, I think my favorite was the wellness for parents because
Okay.
we did that during a time period during Christmas time, and it's a hard time of year for a lot of individuals, and I think it's helpful for people to be able to self-reflect and how to make things less stressful for themselves. One thing I really like about our programs is that it's also a community building, so people get on and get to talk about um, what they're experiencing, and they get to hear other people talk, and they listen, and then they respond back and forth. So I really like that part of it. So they're learning from each other, and they're also learning from us. So as with teaching, you want to give them their next step. You don't want to make it so large that they can't figure out how to manage it. So somebody was having challenges, they didn't even have like a schedule for themselves, let alone for their family. So their next step would be to develop a schedule. So, and then what would that look like? So they were thinking that even just having a schedule would be very helpful to them and to be able to organize their life more and to be able to know what to expect and when to anticipate and when to schedule things. So everybody's different. So, just like in a classroom, you have to listen and provide just the right support at just the right time.
Uh, I love that. That's what I just was talking about. My two favorite teachers. I will never forget Professor Waugh. I will never, ever, ever forget Professor Waugh. And I'm in full honesty. I was already a drug addict. I was barely hanging on by a thread, and Professor Waugh was my honors teacher in college and got me to do some things that probably saved my life at the time and kept me from doing even more harmful things. But he looked like Albert Einstein, and he dressed like he was back in the 60s with his Birkenstocks and his crazy boots that he used to wear, and his hair was everywhere. But he was brilliant, and he challenged me to think outside the box. And he also taught me how to play chess, so that was cool. Um, Kristin, your favorite segments and why?
I'm gonna be the dorky one on this. My last 12 years in the public schools, I really focused primarily on social emotional learning and behavior and mental health services for kids. So my time as a behavior specialist, I think the classes we've created to help parents specifically that are having trouble with behavior in the home are my favorites because it gives them some concrete things to try with fidelity and purpose, and then if it doesn't work, what to do next, and then if that doesn't work, what to do next, and moving through. And I just like that it's individualized to each individual child and parent that takes the class.
That's awesome. I again, you guys have both said something throughout the course of the show that I really love, and that's you have to listen to what the needs are of both the parent and the student, and you're bridging that gap through the work that you are doing and through the incredible ability that you have to take your background and pour it into what you're teaching. So that's just fantastic. People scan that QR code and get a copy of this incredible book, Bridging the Gap Between Home and School. Again, I will tell you, even if you don't need it, my youngest daughter is 30 this year. So I will say that we are past that point, but she is doing fantastic. I'm so thrilled to see her thrive and shine, and and it's because of people like you. It's because of teachers and people and parents that poured into her. So I love that. I absolutely love that. Um, just out of curiosity, and we'll go with Christine, just out of curiosity, is there in your mind something that you want to see happen with this work beyond obviously getting it out to as many people as possible? Is there something in your mind specifically that you're thinking, I really would like it if this happened?
Okay, I would really like if we could work with a school system and being able to bridge the gap at a district wide level and going in and teaching the teachers what to do at the same time then teaching the parents, and that way we can really bridge the gap between home and school, and we would see higher test scores, we would see better behaviors, we would see stronger communities, we would see maybe because in my area the PTA, the PTO is no longer there because we don't have the parents to support it, where given like 10, 15 years ago, it would have been a full room of 30 people, if not more
Wow.
than that,
Mhm.
at the same school that I'm teaching at, because I was a parent at that school that I'm now teaching at, and now there's nothing. So we need to bring back that community and having teachers and parents working together in a partnership, and also parents being able to connect to other parents, because so often we're doing things in isolation that they don't have any support systems. So we have to build those back into our communities.
If I knew that I could get that applause button working faster, I would have clicked it right then. I've said this a million times. I need to get just like Vikings screaming. I'm just gonna hit it, and it's just gonna be like, yes. That's what we need. But that was fantastic,
So
incredible. I'm gonna put the question over the same question over to you, Kristen.
I think one of the things that stands out the most to me is that we're trying to help all parents, not just one kind of parent. We have in our classrooms these days a variety of kids coming to us from all kinds of different backgrounds. And a lot of times parents aren't involved, not because they don't want to be, but because they, one, don't have the time because they're either working 2 or 3 jobs, or they just don't know how to get involved. And once you ask them and invite them into the school, they feel a lot more comfortable. A lot of times, the kids that I've worked with over the years traditionally have been kids with more behavioral difficulties. And a lot of times parents would admit to me, I don't like coming to the school because I have bad memories from when I was in school. And that's a big, wall that comes up right away. And that parents tend to, kind of have their flashbacks to what it was like for them versus, just stepping into it for their child.
I got you. I got you. Sia has a great question here. I just pinned it.
I
And
saw that
thank you for being here, Sia. I got to see one of my favorite shows. She has a bunch of shows, but one of my favorite shows that she does is with Ben Baker, and it's Gnaw on This.
Yes.
And I try to make it when I can, and it's just fantastic. And I'm looking forward to the show that she's got coming up with my buddy Leslie Neidick. So that seems like that's going to be really interesting as well. She says, have you run into anyone trying to politicize your efforts? Great question, Sia. Thank you.
It's definitely something that's being politicized in general, but we ourselves personally have not run into that issue yet with any of our classes or parents any kind of pushback or anything from parents or teachers that we're working with.
All right. Well, that's fantastic because man, it is a volatile kind of world that we live in right now, where every day you're scared to kind of see what may happen, and so yeah, I have a whole bunch of people because of do all this stuff in the HR and nonprofit realm reach out constantly and be like, "Are you okay, Jason?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's we're going to do our thing." So I love that you're kind of doing that, we're going to do our thing. And I know from just our conversations in the past, Christine is like, I have the flag. I've got it down in the ground. We are going. So I know you two are committed, and I know that you are ready to make things happen. You're already creating an impact. So we are thrilled to have had you on the show to tell people about what you're doing and to get out the word again. And we'll have you on as many times as it takes to have people to see what you do. I cannot absolutely wait. Sia, you are welcome. You are absolutely welcome. Um,
I like to.
but
Can I put a plug in for Nicole? Because Nicole is
absolutely.
here. So Nick actually did our cover for us.
Designed it.
Oh,
She
cool.
designed it for us, so she needs some kudos for that. Yes.
Nice.
So
Mhm.
yes, when people start scanning that, they'll be able to see her work, and she is for hire. So I want to make sure people know that too.
Absolutely. I just bought the book from Jack Torrance. So she has a great, we're going to have Jack and her on one of our upcoming Time to Change podcasts. And then a couple of weeks later, we're going to have Nick on there talking about her journey. And so I'm really thrilled to get the book in my hands. I bought the paperback. I'm a physical dude. I like to have, I like to, I like to have the books. I love libraries still. Am I just a geek? Am I the only
Nope.
one? I'm a
Yeah, I have too.
The
I
same
mean,
way.
like literally, I go into these libraries and I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. But I mean, you can see these are books from our partners. And I can't fit them all. I have some over here too. I love to read, and I just so it's fantastic. I am man. I'm kind of bummed that we're at the end of our at the end of our time here, but it is incredible. It is incredible to have the two of you on here to be doing the great work that you are doing. And I am, I just am excited for you. Um, Indeed, and how does funding being taken from the education budget help these innovative programs? It does not. It absolutely does not. And thank you, Nick. It's something that we need to really. So I feel like what we do with this, the show's just a little bitty piece, but what these ladies are doing and our ability to stand out, to speak out, to share is how we make things happen. Even with like Sia's show, Gnaw on This, and other things that she does, we're standing up and speaking out and sharing ideas and getting people to think, because that's what we need. We need community now more than ever.
Yes.
And so it's incredibly important for us to band together, to collaborate, to shine a light on other people. And it's been my pleasure this evening to shine a light on you ladies. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for everyone in the audience. I appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you that are going to see this in the replay land. For now, we say goodbye, but thank you for being part of what we do and being a part of our incredible work with our nonprofit. We'll catch you next time. Have a great evening.